Things you ought to be ready to face in the event that you say a final farewell to an egomaniac.
One thing most egotists share, practically speaking, is accepting that they are superior to every other person.
That is the reason their two systems that frequently consolidate are continually helping themselves or putting every other person down.
They will frequently show up really enchanting with an end goal to be amiable to other people, however they are this near begin talking terrible to them or about them. Furthermore, with regards to separations, they can be genuinely horrendous and pernicious. A separation is never something lovely, and Splendid Side would like you to be ready in the event that you're saying a final farewell to an egotist. 1. They will zero in on your downsides. That one time you called them for assist will, with presumably being raised after you let an egomaniac know that you need to separate. They will probably demonstrate to you the amount you really want them and the amount more troublesome your life will be without them. They will uncover cases of when you requested their assistance as verification that you want them in your day-to-day existence to appropriately work.
2. They will fall back on close-to-home breakdowns.
In many connections, there are sure difficulties that individuals go through, and their accomplice upholds them as they go through them.
Be ready to be helped to remember the amount they upheld you during that time.
Also, presently you are harming them such a huge amount by being so rude of their sentiments.
They will likely begin crying and get crazy.
In mix with their requirement for consideration, they could request to stop by and get their things and on second thought separate before you. That is the reason it's smarter to set up for another person to give them their possessions.
You don't need to meet with them assuming that you feel like they could become oppressive or manipulative. 3. They can be very fierce and unsympathetic.
At the point when they are the ones that start the separation, it could come as totally unforeseen to you since they were incredibly cherishing until just yesterday and professed to have sentiments that they didn't have. They missed the mark on fundamental feeling of compassion and couldn't care less about how harmed you are.
They won't hold back to direct much more pernicious sentiments toward you on the off chance that they can get you away from them that way.
For this situation, it is critical to recall that this separation isn't your shortcoming. They were playing with you and your affections for such a long time until they felt that the time had come to vanquish another person's affection. Furthermore, in the event that they at any point choose to return, it's not on the grounds that they genuinely love you, but since they need something else from you. 4. They will disgrace you out in the open and make vindictive tattle. Yet again, their self-image is saying a lot, and they won't stop until they deride you before your friends and family and complete outsiders. They could begin disgracing you before a companion or family gathering to sincerely break you. To their companions, they present something else altogether than what occurred, where they are casualties and you are the culprit. They couldn't care less about the amount they are harming you the same length as they see you languishing. Yet they could make counterfeit stories and accounts to introduce you as the large antagonist. Virtual entertainment could be their vehicle, since they can post any unsafe thing they maintain that altogether should harm your standing.
5. They will request your consideration in any capacity they can.
They actually need to be at the focal point of your consideration so awful that they will incidentally find you. They could likewise end up passing by your home or the bar that you frequently go with your companions after work. They could try and imagine that they are debilitated or that something awful happened to them just to get you on your toes. Other troubling ways of behaving are savored calls the late evening or in any event, breaking into your home to get their stuff.
Their inner self is gigantic to the point that they need to feel seen, heard, and recognized by their ex-accomplice.
6. They will make a commitment that they will change.
While their controlling strategies neglect to get you back, an egomaniac will show up as though they've figured out their missteps.
They will seem to be a changed individual before you and commitment that they will significantly have an impact on their methodologies. They say that they will get the assistance they need and do what you say to fulfill you. What's more, once in a while the other individual will trust them and choose to acknowledge them back.
Be that as it may, soon the egomaniac returns to the manner in which they were acting previously.
When they feel good that you trust them indeed, they will attempt to control you and be inhumane. Now that they realize their arrangement worked the initial time, they will rehash it next time you need to part ways with them once more. 7. they will attempt to toss the fault on you. At the point when two individuals separate, it's normally on the grounds that the two of them took wrong turns en route. In any case, an egotist won't ever acknowledge any fault and will throw every last bit of it to their accomplice who decided to say a final farewell to them. They could let you know that you didn't see the value in every one of the awesome things they accomplished for you. You will out of nowhere turn into an adversary for them that they won't address. They will not hold back to affront you in the most over-the-top appalling of courses with an end goal to hurt you however much you hurt them. Regardless of whether you attempt to apologize and assist them with dealing with it, they won't pay attention to you. They could try and persuade you that it was all your shortcoming and that you ought to allow the relationship a subsequent opportunity. Be that as it may, this work will likely be fleeting, since every one of its negative parts will be. 8. They will attempt to cause you stay by causing you to feel remorseful. After all the accusing has started, an egotist's work is to just pursue you feel remorseful for your choice to part ways with them. They will let you know that you caused such a lot of torment on them and were discourteous of their sentiments and every one of the pleasant things they've accomplished for you. There is such a lot of ridiculing that you begin to feel like the rubbish of the earth. As per them, you've been extremely off base about them, and you ought to re-evaluate your position. Furthermore, on many events, individuals choose to give their relationship another go. It's not dependably in light of the fact that they actually love their accomplice, but since they need to demonstrate to them that they are not excessively terrible. In any case, they could proceed with this story even in the relationship and keep you connected by responsibility until they get worn out and end it. Have you at any point been along with an egomaniac? What was your involvement in them while in a relationship and how could they deal with your separation?